Hello and welcome to Big Deal. It's taxing times when it comes to the government's collection of revenue. And on the other hand, also tax operations and processes are an important and integral part of every company. So even that needs a lot more clarity. But the big question that we are also asking today on Big Deal is that, is the government going to use taxes and duties to infuse first demand and consumption in the market, and on the other hand also for pushing the Atmanirbhar Bharat theme for the Indian indigenous manufacturers? To discuss all this, I have a panel of experts joining me today. Rajiv Dimri of KPMG, Anuprita Mehta from Piramal Enterprises, S. Sridhar, MD of Pfizer India, Binoy Krishna, who heads tax globally for Tata Communications. Women and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on CNBC TV 18. First, let's start by asking Anuprita. Now, your company, Anuprita, spans from pharma as well as to NBFC space. As a tax expert, what is the kind of hurdles that your industry is facing right now?
Yeah. So, from the NBFC perspective, we are having issues in terms of the liquidity crunch, as everybody knows. Now, to facilitate the ease of the cash crunch, it would be good if the government really exempts the requirement to do TDS on interest payments to the NBFCs the way it is exempted today for the banks. Secondly, also, as far as the NPA provisioning is concerned, now typically an assessee is not granted a tax deduction for any provisions that he makes in his books, but exemption is granted to banks or NBFCs to the extent of a tax deduction which they can claim for 5% of the total income or the actual provision that they make in the books. Now, this 5% limit should be increased to say 10 or 15%, because we know that there are going to be NPAs that are coming, and that's not going to result into any tax leakage for the government, because anyways, if you recover those bad debts, you're going to offer those for tax, or even if the provision relates to actual bad debts, then you won't be claiming a double deduction in any case. But for facilitating ease of liquidity, the exemption should be, extended to maybe a 10% or a 15% provision. So this is with the NBFC sector. As regards the pharma sector, we are still facing some issues around refunds. While, of course, the intent of the government is to grant refunds expeditiously, but on a practical level, that's really not happening. And it's also because of the lockdown. The officers are not able to go to the tax office. Likewise, in our case, we may not be able to go to our own offices to upload so many documents that are required for granting the refunds. So this is really causing some problems, while the intent of the government is to release refunds as soon as possible.
Right. Thanks, Anuprita, for that. In fact, it gave a lot of understanding of the market, and I'll go to the other industries as well. But first, coming to a tax expert, then, Rajiv, in your analysis, two most important issues that the government faced in terms of its tax collection as well as refund, do you think has stabilized to a large extent now, looking at the latest GST collection and also the kind of tax refunds that the government has managed to do? What's your analysis on these two aspects?
So let me take the refund pass first. I think, both for direct and indirect taxes in the past couple of months, government has processed record numbers, and that credit must go to the government. But has all refunds been, granted to the assessees? Answer is no. So significant progress has been made. And I think this is an area where the government can do more and make sure that the money of the people is returned to them, because at this point in time, it is needed far more than any other time. On the GST collection, we all saw the numbers for the month of June. I don't think that should be used as a basis to say our economic activity is back to 90%. I think the June collection has, of course, that month, but a lot of collections of the previous months, which the taxpayers are allowed to defer, that payment has come in. So I don't think we should start celebrating June refund, June tax collection as an indication that we are back to 90%.
That's a very, very important point coming out, Rajiv. Of course, we have to tread very cautiously and see whether the economic realities really are aligning with the GST targets that the government has set for itself for this particular financial year. Coming to Ash Sridhar from Pfizer. Now, your turn is looking very good. I don't think will be a problem in terms of giving revenues to the government. But what are the tax hurdles that you as an MNC firm is also facing? And how are we coping with this COVID-19 situation vis-a-vis your other counterparts, other geographies, Sridhar?
So thank you for inviting me, Nisha, out here. Good afternoon to everybody. First of all, I want to thank the government for whatever effort they've been doing over the last few months to revive the economy. I think it's not easy for the government to manage so many sectors at the same time because it's the first time we're having all sectors getting impacted. So I personally want to thank the government for making all the efforts. Coming specifically to MNCs and some of the challenges, I would urge on a few areas. One, as you all know, for MNCs, transfer pricing is a big area where we file our returns very early. And this year, given the margin challenges, there will be high expenses, the margins are going to be impacted. So it might be good if the government takes a consideration and does not resort to the standard margin principles, because none of us really beat the margin principles, and give a lot of credit to the past assessments, what we have done. And if you have done a good assessment the previous year, give us the leeway rather than trying to make it a non-arm's length. So that's one big area. Otherwise, it could have huge litigations for multinational companies. The second area is, I think the pharmaceutical industry has been managing the business continuity really effectively from day one. Not in a single day we have stopped our supplies into our patients. And one area where government can help us to enable the cash flow is on stock transfer, we end up paying GST on a fair market value. And as a result, what happens is the cash flow goes out and a lot of money gets stuck up at different locations because the actual selling price is lower than the fair market value, because the last few months we've been offering a lot of discounts to the trade in order to make sure we give them the working capital support in quite a few areas. So it would be a good idea if they can take the stock transfer value at, say, 50% of the fair market value, and then that gives us the cash flow for the companies like us to manage it. The third area is, I think Anupriya rightly said, we need to digitalize entirely the tax assessments. Even tribunal hearings, we are filing a lot of tax papers. I'm urging the government to use COVID opportunity to completely digitalize the entire process of tax assessment, do a video recording. It can increase compliance and make life easy for a lot of assessees. It can actually make smaller assessees also come on to the assessment table much faster. And lastly, I think with the introduction of the dividend tax, most companies, when it comes to NRI payments, they've got different tax slabs for different NRIs. If we can streamline and make a single tax slab for all NRI payments, it will make operations far more easier. That's what I would say.
All right. So